It's Holden. It's Mangone. It's the Sports Keg. It's picking winners here. Run pure sports, run pure bets. We're going to go through 7 games here, including the Thursday night matchup between the Rams and the Seahawks. We'll do that one last. We got Eagles, Panthers. Looks like Christian McCaffrey could be back for Carolina here. Cowboys, Giants, Browns, Chargers, Niners, Cardinals. Big game right there. Packers, Bengals, Lions, and Vikings. Kegger, how's it going, buddy? We're going to rebound from this week number 4, head in strong to week number 5. Didn't do bad on the show, though, last week. Things went pretty well. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, buddy. Got my teeth kicked in last week, but Tyler crushed on player props. Joey's still rolling with baseball.
Oh, my God.
We hit another 33-1 in NASCAR, but got a rebound with the NFL picks this week for sure.
And we will. Hello, Mangone.
What's going on?
You just told me to get my nicest clothes ready for lunch tomorrow. I'm glad you reminded me. What cuisine would you like to try?
I want to go wherever Holden, whatever establishment he wants to show me, right? Whatever Holden wants to, whip out the best for me, right? Make it a good meal, Don't bring me to like Arby's or something, Make sure it's something that I'll enjoy. Make sure it's something that it's a little unique. Again, no Arby's. I don't want the meats, and don't bring a random surprise like date. I wouldn't be shocked if I showed up and you had me on a blind
I won't.
date.
No, I'm too busy during the day to do that right now. Also, there is a place, like I said, they have ox, elk. Are you into some crazy game, or do you just want to try and eat some normal stuff?
No, I mean, I kind of want some normal food. I don't know what DC wants either, right? DC's coming.
Oh, is he still coming?
I think so. I mean, we have to
He's
figure
not
it out.
going to make it. He's not going to. I'm telling you right now, that dude is not going to make it. So, man, going wonderful to see you. Simon just said you're high maintenance, so maybe we should go to somewhere a little bit more quiet.
Listen, I just want you to show me what Colorado's about. If I come back and be like, "How was lunch with Holden?" What am I gonna be like? We went to McDonald's. I mean, come on.
I don't eat that shit. I don't eat that shit. Keg, where should I take him? What kind of should we just go out for sandwiches? Do you think?
I mean, I would say either a nice Italian joint or a steakhouse.
Okay. Very good.
Like Keg, if you were taking someone out to Jersey, you're giving them either a nice Italian place, something Jersey, right? Maybe a good slice of pizza. You're picking some type of Jersey type food, right, Keg?
If I'm meeting one of the two of you for the first time, we're going to a nice steakhouse, definitely.
All right. Then we got to go get a steak. That's what we'll do. There's not a lot of Denver cuisine, buddy, outside of the rare meats that you can find in the mountains and other countries. So I'll figure something out between now and then. But let's get into what we need to do. We're going after the Cash Show tomorrow. Cash Show, 2:00 Eastern. How are you acclimating to Mountain Time, Mangone? It's been 3 years for me. I can't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it too much out of it, but we're trying. We're trying our best. It's not the easiest. I will definitely say I miss being on East Coast time zone for sure. I do like staying up later though, right? And not having all the games on. That's nice, but it's confusing for sure.
All right, here's the deal. If you've not already signed up, don't know what you're waiting for. I'm going to assume that the viewers have no idea what I'm talking about when I say RPS Heater 25 for 25% off your first payment or monthly subscription on a monthly subscription. RPS Heater 25% off that first payment. You get our core plays, the best in the business, giving you their best lineup. All you need to do is fill in 3 or 4 spots on a weekly basis. The playbook, the cash chart, Hoop and Mangone. It's just spectacular stuff. So, by the way, almost all the core plays for week 4, we're stacking either KC and Philly or Washington and Atlanta. And if you did that, then you had some very, very successful cores. You know who had some successful cores? How about the following winners in NFL? Our boy, KNB Squid, winning 2,600 in Showdown. Not bad, my friend. J Bones taking home 5K. Dave the Champ. Wow, look at these here. Dave the Champ with 84K. Just a Joe to you, 240K. And Matt S, 305K. Our winners are winning. Members never win, but they really do. So let's get into this game, boys. And Kegger, let's start with you here on the Eagles and the Panthers. And again, this is going to be interesting if CMC is back. Obviously, their most dynamic playmaker and one of the most dynamic playmakers in the National Football League right now. So that's big news. Do you think, first of all, that would move the line at all with the Eagles plus 3.5 on the road at Carolina?
I think it really all depends on if the odds makers baked him playing or not playing into the line that we see right now. He's one of the few players that I think are worth a full point line move in the NFL. So the question is it already baked in the cake that they assume that he's going to play or not? I don't really know that. But whether it is or not, he'll move the line a full point. I think there's like 5 players that move it close to a full point, and he's one of them. So I forgot to say that also JJ's hit 8 of his last 11. But anyway.
Hold on a second. JJ's hit how many?
8 of his last 11. He's rolling right now in the NFL. I didn't want to leave him out.
You shouldn't. Holy moly. That's
what I just said.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's go, buddy.
So it's very hard to take anything away from the Chiefs game this past week for the Eagles, because hanging 30 plus on the Chiefs really doesn't mean anything right now other than the fact that it's Sunday. So I can't overreact and say that I was impressed with the Eagles offensively. Defensively, I think it was pretty much the status quo for Philly. They're a bottom 8 defense, and this is now back-to-back weeks that they've given up 40-plus points to opposing teams. So, you can't allow teams that have, I think the Chiefs were 90% third down conversion rate. You're not going to win games like that. So I didn't learn much more than we already knew going into Sunday for the Eagles. As far as the Panthers, the final score of the game on Sunday versus the Cowboys wasn't very indicative of how the game really went. They ended up losing to the Cowboys by, I think, 8 points, but the score was 36-14 at like the 9-minute mark of the fourth quarter. So I think they do have a very solid defense through 4 weeks. It's been a top 5 defense through the first month, but they struggled against the Cowboys because the Cowboys offense is one of the very best in professional football. So it's hard for me to fault them for getting roasted by the Cowboys. As far as the spread, what you just said is everything. I want to know if McCaffrey is going to play before I make a move here. If he plays, the offense we know hits another gear. Even though Darnold has looked pretty solid, they're taken to another level when CMC is in the game. So if he plays, I'll probably be on the Panthers because I'm pretty confident that the Panthers defense can contain the Eagles offense, but nothing sidewise until I really know if he's going to play. As far as the total, I have to dig into the total a little more, but right now I lean over. It's not that hard to get over 44 in this league. You can do it by accident. So if he plays, I lean over even more, but right now it's a pass until we really know if he's going to play.
Yeah. I just read a great article on how bad the Philly defense has been these last 2 games. They've absolutely been shredded. One of those games against the Chiefs, though, I don't know how much you take into it, but they're not getting a pass rush. They're getting beaten in so many different facets. So let's go over to you, man, going from a DFS side in this game. Christian McCaffrey, 8.7K on DK. Henry's 9, Kamara 8.6, Cook 8.4. Will you bother with CMC in a tournament if he is active?
You definitely can, right? I mean, the price tag is, good because obviously it's the start of the season and then he got hurt. So he hasn't had that inflated tag yet. He hasn't had that huge game. CMC is definitely in play, definitely something that I would consider. I just need to know his status and everything. So that's something that we'll figure out as the week goes on. I do think DJ Moore's price is a little pricey for my liking. I don't think I need to be going there. And I don't love this Panthers side of the ball a ton. I mean, I think you can go back to Robbie Anderson at his ownership. I doubt people go to him again. Like, he does have upside. I do think the deep play is there. You can get it against the Eagles. So I think that's certainly in play. But the key that I'm looking at here, I think, is playing Jalen Hurts. And if I play Jalen Hurts, let's say I do, I'm going to run it back with one Panther. And I don't think I'm going to play the guessing game of which receiver is it? Is it Devonta Smith? Is it Jalen Reagor? Is it Dallas Goedert? Ertz? Is it one of the running backs? He has enough upside with his legs, and I think he's still finding cash games, even at the price tag of 7K, that you can go to him. It is a low team total, but with the rushing upside that he has, I think that Jalen Hurts is in play here, and I think he's someone that I'm going to be looking to possibly roster. He's someone that on the cash chart, you'll probably see me have him on there. I don't know if I'll for sure go that way, but I think he's going to be in consideration because of the rushing equity that he has, and we've seen it week in and week out. He doesn't have to be the best quarterback out there. He hasn't looked like he's amazing or an MVP candidate, but the rushing upside and equity is so important in DFS that I'm going to be considering Jalen Hurts. And if I do play him, I'm not going to run it back with like one of those Eagles. I'll probably just run it back with one of the Panthers. If I do pair up an Eagle, it's going to probably be Devonta Smith or like Jalen Reagor.
So here's Hurts on DK, 28.7, 21.8, 22.5, 28.18. I mean, the guy has a floor and he probably has a ceiling too. Jalen Hurts has just become a great DFS asset. There's no question about it. The only other guy I wanted to bring up here was Zack Ertz. Now he's touchdown dependent. He caught that. He's actually not touchdown dependent now that I think about it. 7 targets, 4 catches, 53 yards and a touchdown against Dallas last week. On 8 targets, he caught 6 for 60. He was right there for another touchdown. Zack Ertz, 3.4 DraftKings punt.
I mean, Zack Ertz is fine, but I can't go there, Holden. I think it's unnecessary.
One last. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Stephon Gilmore just traded to the Panthers for a 6th-round draft.
Won't
pick.
play this week.
Okay.
And he's probably.
So here's the thing. Simon just wrote Gainwell. Here's my problem with the Eagles, right? I don't want to. Like, I was listening to Tambo's show yesterday, and I thought this for a little while, and it was definitely some affirmation listening to him and Kay Fallick and JSU talk about it. I don't feel like I need to play the guessing game of which Eagle is it going to be with Jalen Hurts. The slates are big enough where I think I can just get away with playing other receivers. Now, if you're in a larger field tournament with like over 200,000 people trying to win the Millie, yeah, you probably need to. I'm not trying to win those contests. When I play my tournaments, I'm not trying to ship the Millie. I'm just not. So I'm happy with just playing Jalen Hurts by himself and then running it back with the Panthers. If you want to pair it up, you can pair it with those guys, but trying to play the guessing game of who to pair it with, I just don't think I need to do that with the Eagles. If I am going to run a stack, I'd rather find a stack like Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, where I think it's more condensed and it's not as much of a guessing game. Yes, could Tyler Conklin go for 2 touchdowns and Jefferson doesn't do much and then it ruins my team? Yes, that can happen, but the probability it happens is way less. And trying to figure out who gets it right on the Eagles, that's just a guessing game I don't want to really be a part of.
All right, so just a quick recap, Keg, on the bet side. What do you like, if anything?
Well, I'm waiting. I like the Panthers if CMC is going to play, and I lean over in the game anyway, but I like it even more if he plays.
All right, very good, guys. We'll move on to our next game here. That's the Cowboys and the Giants. Danny Dimes, you know, sometimes he busts loose and he doesn't turn the ball over in the red zone and costs his team like last week, and then some weeks he's absolute garbage. So we got to figure out which Danny Dimes is going to show up today, if we even want to bother with that. This is a 425 game. And then Mangone, I want to start with the DFS side. To me, this is more interesting than the betting side, although Keg might make some pretty damn good arguments. Dalton Schultz has become a legitimate weapon in this offense. 15 targets last 2 weeks, 3 touchdowns. And if you're banking on touchdown equity, could be a little problem there. CeeDee Lamb, a couple of down weeks, 3 catches, 2 catches, not getting much after the catch. Zeke Elliott looks okay. And then at the quarterback position, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley for the Giants has looked like he's got his burst back. Is there anybody you like in the wide receiving core? Lots to sift through in this Giants-Dallas game for me.
Yeah, I mean, this game is definitely going to be one that we're looking at, right? It's a 52 total. It's in a dome. And also, like, Giants and Cowboys games, they always just feel like they shoot out. Is that correct, Holden? I mean, me and Kegger from Jersey, right? So maybe that's just like something we feel like we're biased, but they shoot out all the time, correct,
yes.
Holden?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And
That's
I
so
feel like you're going to see another shootout here because I don't buy that Giants defense that much. I don't buy that Cowboys defense that much. Have they gotten a little bit better probably than last year? Yeah, but I think you're going to see a really good game. I think you're going to see a lot of scoring. You got Dak Prescott, Cooper to Lamb. You can go with those routes. My only issue is I feel like the Cowboys are running the ball a ton, right? And if they're going to have the leading script, I don't love the Dak to Cooper to Lamb. And I think a lot of people on this slate are going to see a 30 total. They're going to see Dak Prescott. They're going to see Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb at 6'1" and 6K and be like, man, look how cheap this stack is. I don't think I need to play that route. If I am going to play that route, I think I'm going to pair it with Saquon Barkley. And because Barkley is going to be in the leading game script, and then the Cowboys will be passing a ton. If the Giants are leading, Barkley likely has a big game. That's how I would play that stack in tournaments. In cash games, the floor on those guys is fine. I think you can go there. I don't think they're bad plays at all, but I worry about their ceiling if they are leading. And if that's the case, do you want to pay $7K for Ezekiel Elliott? I think you can. I think in tournaments, and again, this is kind of going back to my one point, I don't love playing this spot because of I have to play the guessing game. Is it going to be Zeke or is it going to be Pollard? Because would you be shocked if Pollard had a big game this week? No, I wouldn't. And I think in like large field tournaments, going Pollard and running it back with like a Kenny Golladay or an Evan Ingram is not a bad idea. We have Darius Slayton and we have Sterling Shepard both dealing with hamstrings. I don't know if they're going to play this week, but even if they do play,
didn't practice as we taped this on Wednesday. They sat out again.
Okay, and here's the thing, Holden. Let's say they practice tomorrow and Friday. I have no confidence in their hamstrings. Hamstrings are nagging injuries. I think this is an amazing spot in tournaments for Kenny Golladay at 5.9K. He still hasn't scored a touchdown this year. I say we book Kenny Golladay to score a touchdown right now. I think that's a great bet to throw in there because I think he's going to have a really big game. Wow. Love him in tournaments. He's obviously a little more volatile in cash games, and at his price, there's safer guys you can argue, but I love him as a tournament play. Love Evan Ingram again as a cash game option at 3.2K. He's just really cheap. We know the production he can have, and it's nice for him to be in the dome. I think it's a really good spot for these guys. And you can't ignore Daniel Jones, even though it's a low team total. Daniel Jones has been impressive this year, and he could have a really big game. He's got the rushing equity too with his legs. Here's the attempts: 4, 8, 9, 6. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is Jalen Hurts, but he has some rushing upside in him. And if he breaks one, as long as he stays up, Holden, he just has to stay up. He can get in the end zone certainly. So I think this is a really great game. I'm curious to see where the ownership goes. That's the key. I think cash games, people will be looking at this game. And then I want to see where the ownership is going in tournaments, because if this is the game of the week, right, then you can make an argument to go to some other spots because, listen, there's not a lot of amazing games on this slate, and you could see a lot of ownership gravitate towards this game. That's the thing we really have to figure out for tournaments.
Okay. Very good. Shout out to Bring the Noise, who says, Holden forgot about my sick hit. Well, I'm only good as the information given to me, Simon. Simon, I'm going to throw you under the bus. No, come here. Let me know. Bring the Noise. Throw it in the live chat. I want to know how much you won because it's beautiful. We love it when you guys win. Members never win. Another chance at a Jason Garrett revenge game here, Kegger. So you look at this game, primetime slot, lots of viewership. Giants +7. 52 and a half is the total. The money line +260 is what I'm seeing the Giants on. So what do you want to do here with the Giants and the Cowboys? Is there any way that you would go over 52 with the Cowboys?
I mean, it's a tough game for sure. Dallas is only one of, I think, 5 teams right now currently in football that are either 4-0 or 3-1 against the spread this year. Which is pretty solid. And I think offensively, they've been exactly what we thought that they would be, a top 5 offense. But the surprising part has been their defense. They're like 10th right now in defensive DVOA, which is really impressive, man. They are far exceeding their preseason expectations, at least through the first month of the year, right? And like we just talked about, the final score of the Panthers game didn't really tell the tale of how dominant that they actually were in that game. So I think they're one of the better teams in the NFC right now, and I don't even think that they've fully hit their stride yet. As far as the Giants, I thought it was comical to hear, and I was talking about this on the Monday Night Show, to hear these talking heads on major networks, like all of a sudden they're back in on Danny Dimes as a franchise quarterback now because they managed to get the Saints game to overtime and eventually get the first one of the year. I mean, like, come on, man. I'm not sold on this offense or defense. And I think they're a bottom quarter team in the league right now that's going to struggle against the better teams in the NFC. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys are one of the better teams in the NFC, at least heading that way. So, I know that you don't really lay a touchdown in NFC East divisional games normally. But, if you were going to give me a free bet in this game, I'm going to lean that the Cowboys beat this team by more than a touchdown. Now, it would be nice if that line gets to 6.5. I think if it does, I'd feel a lot better about laying the 6.5. But if it goes to 7.5, they're one of my favorite teasable sides probably of the week, with Minnesota, who we'll talk about later. But as far as the total, I think Mangone's right, man. These games do really shoot out historically if you look at some of these final scores. So I'll lean over, but I think it could potentially be safer if you're going to take the over to just take the Dallas Cowboys team total over, which is currently
The Cowboys team total over?
Yeah, Cowboys team total over is 30.5.
Oof, that's a lot, man.
That's kind of high.
That is a lot.
But I lean that the game probably goes over, but I don't think it's worth playing. Like I wouldn't bet this total. I think that I'm gonna wait to see exactly where this line moves off of 7. If it goes down, I don't mind taking the Cowboys at 6.5. If it moves up, then I think that they're one of the better teasable sides of the week.
Okay, very good. Let's go. You, Mr. Keg, plug the bet side. What's the code to get in? JJ's hot. Joey Work made me a ton of money in baseball this season. He hit again last night, first 5 under 4.5. It's been very profitable, and my friend, if anybody has time to sit down and watch Keg's show, that's very profitable too. I'm thinking about just quitting all my jobs and just watching your show. And that's it. And then I can just make money that way. You think that's good?
Everybody is rolling right now. Tyler's killing NFL player props. JJ's catching his stride in college football and the NFL. Joey with baseball. Obviously, the live show crushes. Bets 25 off is the promo code. You get 25% off your first week or month on the bet side of Run Pure Sports. Or if you sign up for the DFS side, use promo code GETBETS. And you'll get the first month on the bet side for free. Okay. Best value in the business.
I love it. It is the best value in the industry. There's no question about it. Let's move on to the Browns and Chargers here, Kegger. We'll start with you on this game. This to me is one of the most challenging games to handicap this week. So you get the Chargers coming off the short week. They're at home. It'll be a Browns home game on the road. Browns plus 2.5. You can also, if you want to back the Chargers, minus 1.5. So you got a little difference there. You got about a point to play with. 46.5 is the total. Browns plus 110 on the money line. Chargers minus 120. You know what? If this was a neutral site game, the Browns would be favored, right? Is that correct? Or do you think that the lack of home field advantage and the fact that the Browns are probably going to have more fans, is that already baked into the line?
I think you can make an argument that the Chargers are playing a road game every single week.
Yep.
Because, I mean, it was 90% Raider fans in that stadium the other day. I agree with you. I think this is one of the toughest games of the week to handicap. The Browns offense did not look good on Sunday at all. That offensive line, which was originally thought to be, solid, was mediocre on Sunday. Another game where they allowed at least 3 sacks. Baker couldn't do anything at all. But the Browns' running game is so elite that even when Baker struggles, their running game can get you through the other side. So the defense, though, looked really good. I mean, the Vikings are capable of putting up points in bunches, even in the games that they've lost historically. So when a team like that is held to a single touchdown in a game, that's impressive. All in all, I'm still high on the Browns team, especially the defense. But we still need to see more consistency, I think, out of the offense week to week. Now, the Chargers team, I faded on Monday night, and it's because I haven't really been very high on this team. But I think I need to start showing the Chargers some more respect. Mm-hmm. The offense was never really the problem. It was the defense I had issues with because they were never able to stay healthy. But I have to admit, when this defense is healthy, they are a top 10 defense. And that's all they have to be when the offense is as good as it is with this kid. So the combination should translate into a bunch of wins. That being said, the Raiders got egged in the first half of that game. And if not for the Chargers' fourth down conversion, the Raiders were getting the ball back to tie that game at 21. So while the play went down, they were live in the second half in that game. But I'm not grading the Chargers high enough. I need to up them in my ratings for sure. As far as the spread, I'm going to stay away until I calibrate where the Chargers really should be in my power ratings. As far as the total, the last I saw the total, it was at 47. I guess I'm going to lean over, even though if I had to guess, sharp money will probably be on the under with how good these two defenses have looked. But I'm going to lean over. I think they're going to find a way to get up and over that. Yeah. Other than that, the game's to pass right now on Wednesday.
Yeah, man, going from a DFS side, you've obviously got some big time players in this game, especially from the LA side. But do we want to mess with them? Aren't there better spots? Or can we pick out maybe like a Jared Cook or Keenan Allen or Mike Williams to bounce back? What do you want to do here? Is there anybody playable from the Cleveland side too?
Yeah, there's just better spots, right? The price tags are inflated, and the reason why the price tags are inflated is because they've been playing great. The problem too is the Chargers are going to be in a game, and in that game, what are they going to be doing? It's going to be a slow, methodical game. I actually like the under more than Keg. We're on opposite sides here. The reason why is, what do the Chargers do? Well, they give up. They give it up on the ground. They're okay to do that, and it plays into the Browns' hand. And of course, I'm sure the Chargers aren't dumb. I'm sure they'll change up what they want to do, but I do think you're going to see this Browns team be really good this week. I kind of think the Browns upset. I don't really want to mess with this too much in DFS, again, because I don't want to guess, right? I don't want to guess Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt or, will they just do like an Odell Beckham sweep? I just think this is a bad DFS game. I think you're going to see it play really slow. And I think it's going to be a game that I wish was on Monday Night Football, right? I could sit back, relax, and like watch the game, and it'd be a real fun, game to watch. This is something that would be an awesome playoff game. I just think you're going to see it play really slow. Now, if it goes the other way and it interacts really well, I just probably won't win because I look at all these price tags and I just don't need to go there right now. You can make a case for Keenan Allen's price tag and like it hasn't adjusted, right? He's 7,200 on FanDuel. Would you be shocked if he should be 8K at this point in the season? Obviously, Mike Williams has messed some stuff up with just getting in there and being the alpha so far. Keenan Allen's at 6.5 on DK. Odell Beckham 6K. I think people will talk themselves in this game when they shouldn't. Maybe I'll play like a Nick Chubb at 6.5, but again, I don't want to guess. I don't think it's necessary. At least you're going to think a little bit about Nick Chubb this week now, and even in cash games, right? Because that mid 6K range, there's so many running backs that you can go to. I'm curious to see how it all shakes out, but I just think this is a game that goes a little bit under, and I think the Browns might upset it. What do you think about that, Keg?
Yeah, I think the Browns are definitely capable of winning the football game. And like I agree with you. And like I just said, I think that the wise guys are going to be on the under here. But this game could be 24-17, but it could easily be a 31-28 game. Because when both these offenses are rolling, they're very hard to stop. And if they both have a good day on Sunday, it's not going to take much for them to start putting points on the board in bunches. But I agree with you. I think the majority of the sharp money will be on the under. I lean over, though.
Here's my issue with the Cleveland offense right now. Baker's just holding on to the ball too long. He's got the second most quarterback knockdowns, adjusted sack rate. Adjusted sack rate is number 5, and that's not good. You want to be 30. You don't want to be number 5. You want to be somewhere in the 20s and the 30s. So that's a little bit concerning. They have had some explosive plays in the run game. I'm kind of with you here. I think that the Chargers defense the Chargers defense can kind of knock Baker around. And let's not forget that the Browns defense also gets a lot of pressure too. So I'm with you a little bit on this under here. So Keg, you will remind me Monday morning, I'm sure you and Mangone were against me on that play.
No,
and then, that's it.
I'm not betting. So no.
We're still against you. I just didn't want you feeling like we were ganging up on you and you had a chance to get retribution.
I think a lot of smart people are going to be against me.
Okay, very good. RPS Heater 25 is the code. RPS Heater 25, 25% off your first month's payment. Looking forward to that. We got NBA best ball season underway. Promo code Run Pure on Underdog, $25 deposit bonus on first deposit. I kind of feel like Simon is probably knee deep into NBA best ball. The guy killed it with his NFL content in the offseason. And you can get back out there with NBA best ball coming up once again. 49ers Cardinals. Oh boy. Here's my issue here, Keg. We don't know who's starting at quarterback for San Francisco. Does it matter?
I think it matters. Listen, I don't know. It's hard for me to rate the Niners right now, considering we've only seen one of these kids play one half of football in the NFL. Now, Trey Lance didn't look bad in that half, right? But it was against the Seahawks defense, who isn't good normally, and certainly weren't ready for a kid like Lance that can really move around in terms of a statue like Jimmy G, right? Now, the Niners defense also did not look good and hasn't looked as good this season as their preseason expectations for sure. But if it's going to be Lance, right, I need to watch Trey Lance for a couple games until I would feel comfortable betting aside in a Niners game with him behind center. So it's really hard for me to gauge the San Francisco 49ers if he plays. Now, the Cardinals right now, according to most metrics in advanced analytic categories, are the most complete team after 4 weeks, by the numbers at least. Now, personally, I had my money on the Rams. I did not expect to see them get dragged by 17 like that. But I do think, the hype is real. Murray is hands down probably your MVP if he stays healthy, and it won't be close. But his frame says it's almost impossible that he can stay healthy for an entire regular season, plus the playoffs. Now, I have no real feel on the side right now because everything I just said, but I like the Cardinals team total over. Based on everything that we've seen so far, I think that they're capable of getting over 27 against this 49ers defense, who gave up 33 to the Lions, who can't seem to get out of their own way. So I do like the Arizona team total here a lot. Aside from that, I'm off this game.
Okay. So, Mangone, the Cardinals always have some DFS tastiness. So we could start with them and then get to the Niners with Deebo Samuel. I think he leads the league in receiving yards now. Kittle's kind of struggled a little bit for George Kittle standards. But let's start with DeAndre Hopkins because he had that big week 1, an acceptable week 2 where he got injured. I'm wondering if he's going to be healthy enough now to finally have that breakout game once again since his week 1 smash. AJ Green has got to be firmly in play in cash games at 5-1 on DraftKings, 5-7 on FanDuel. He now has at least 13 DK points in 3 straight and 16 and 17.7 in his last 2. Not sure what your take is on Max Williams, but how about you start on the Arizona side? While Kyler Murray has a higher ceiling than Jalen Hurts, I wonder if you could just save the money with Hurts as opposed to going with Kyler and cash. And, Kyler to me is just a terrific tournament play too.
Yeah. So my problem with one of the statements you said was AJ Green cash play. I can't get behind it because
volume.
I'll tell you what,
he's getting volume.
Sure. But couldn't the volume change soon? I worry about predictability.
Why?
With that. I worry about DeAndre Hopkins, getting healthier and then him getting more of the volume. I worry about, of course, it could change at one point. I just think in cash games, it's not a necessary risk to take based on other players that you can go to. If you look around, there's just so many mispriced guys, it feels like, are cheap receivers that I don't think I need to take the shot there. I also don't want to play the guessing game, right? I think I can play Kyler Murray naked and just call it a day. I can obviously play him ran back with an Ayuk, right? I think at 4 or 5, I'd rather play Ayuk over Deebo Samuel. I think Deebo Samuel is a great play. but I do think his price is getting a little inflated. Or I could even go to a George Kittle if I think George Kittle is healthy. I mean, it's going to be a perfect game script for him. And we get Trey Lance finally getting a week's worth of practice of being the guy, right? That's going to be helpful for him. He just stepped into that game. And yes, it was in a good situation because they were trailing where he was able to put up fantasy points, but he's going to need a whole week to be able to practice. And I think that's going to be very important for a backup quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback who could become the starter and could be not seeing a price tag of 5.7 for the rest of the season, right? If he uses his rushing equity the way that we want him to, because that could be humongous. I mean, it's an absolute cheat code in DFS. We got him getting 7 rush attempts in only 1/2 of work. I mean, come on, Holden. I mean, that's just phenomenal. If we're going to get over 10 rush attempts in this game out of a quarterback at 5.7K, you can't ignore that. I do think you can ignore Trey Sermon, even Elijah Mitchell if he ends up being back. I just don't want to mess with those running backs. You can pay for Deebo Samuel. Again, I think Ayuk is the guy I'd rather go to for cheap, at least in tournaments. In cash games, if you have the money for Deebo, you can. And then I don't think you need to go to George Kittle this week, at least on DK. On FanDuel, I think Kittle could be more interesting. I want to hear how his injury is doing and how he's feeling throughout the week. I don't know if you have anything on that, Holden, but that's kind of where I'm overall at on this game. And I like the call for DeAndre Hopkins with you. I think in tournaments, if you're going to tell me he's just not owned, that's the guy I might try and pair with Kyler. I want to be early on DeAndre Hopkins. And I think that's a good chance to take a shot on that right now at the ownership that he's been seeing the past couple of weeks.
The only thing I'll say about Sermon, that he looked pretty sharp when Lance was in there, as opposed to Jimmy G. It seemed to open up a little bit. And then the Cardinals have had major issues against the run. So, I mean, here's the problem though, right? He's in a Shanahan backfield. Like, he could have a blow up game, but I think if we play this game 10 times, he might have a blow up game 1.5 times.
Just hold it. Why play the guessing game, right? I just don't think it's necessary unless you know that it's just Sermon, right? And if it's just Sermon, what's going to happen is if you do play Trey Sermon, you're going to play him and you're probably going to run it back with Kyler Murray and then one of the receivers, because what's going to happen is if Trey Sermon has a big game, it's because they're leading and they're running the ball a ton, not with them trailing. That's how you have to play out the game scripts. I'm not saying you can't play Trey Sermon, but if you do think the Cardinals are going to be leading, I don't love playing Trey Sermon here in this spot. I just don't think it's the correct way to go. Now, if you want to play the other script, certainly it's a 5.5 point spread. The Niners could be leading. And I get it. Holden, you're cringing, but it's only a 5.5 point
I'm not
spread.
cringing. I'm not cringing. Maybe I'm just making silly faces, but
it could be the case. But it's like BigT the other day. He was talking about when we were on the Showdown show. Everyone was talking, oh, the Bucks this, the Bucks that. And listen, I was kind of falling victim to it. And then he was like, it's only a 6.5 point spread, and everyone thinks that the Patriots are just going to get like rolled over. And it's like, I'm not saying the Niners are going to get rolled over, but there's definitely a chance the Niners are leading, and I'm not shocked at all. Right? This is Kyle Shanahan. This is an intelligent coach. It just would not surprise me if this team did look better with Trey Lance and they were leading. And if you want to play Trey Sermon, if you do believe in him, then run it back with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. You have to play the game script the way that you think it's going to go. And that's super important when you're building tournament teams. You need to build a story. And I think that's really, really important when it comes to even large field tournaments or small field tournaments. You have to figure out what the best route to go is. And that's definitely a good talking point here with this game.
All right. Very good. I like it.
Can you guys hear that? Can you hear that in the background?
Yes, we do.
Is that a dentist?
Bro, fucking neighbors next door. I'll be back.
Yeah, go out, go kick him in the nuts or something. That's ridiculous. Come on, Keg. You can't be doing. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't want him getting murdered either, Simon. That'd be really bad. Travis, let's just get into the next game then, and we'll start on the DFS side then. The Packers and the Bengals. Before we even get in, how sold are you on this Bengals offense right now, given that T. Higgins is practicing this week? Jamar Chase has a great rapport with Burrow. We've seen this for a couple of years now. Joe Mixon might not be playing. If he does, very, very limited. I really don't want anything to do with the Bengals outside of a receiver or two. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually excited to talk about this game with you a little
bit.
So the Bengals have been a team that are running the ball a ton, right? Holden, they've been a very run heavy team. Now, I'm going to pull up the schedule real quick. Is it because of the matchups they've had right now? I don't think that the Bengals are just all of a sudden this ground and pound team, right? If they're beating Pittsburgh, of course you're going to do that. They're beating, I think Minnesota, I forget if they were winning or not. Chicago was a closer game. All these games have been a bit close. So
they've been winning. The Vikings game, they had a big lead. They almost blew it, and then they won it in overtime.
Yeah, and hold it. Here's the thing. Everyone in the industry is going to be talking, oh, the Bengals, what did they run the ball, right? And if Nixon is back, it's fine. Dude, if they're losing to the Packers, they're going to have to throw. And the thing I do really like about the Bengals here in this spot, especially in tournaments, is I feel like I know where the volume is going to go. Like, sure, CJ Uzomah, if he happens to have a big game and I lose, so be it. But I do feel good about Chase. I do feel good about either going to Higgins or going to Boyd. What I might do is just avoid Higgins because of the injury. What was the injury on him again, Holden?
I thought it was lower body with his hamstring. I'll look it up again.
What was it again? Did you say hamstring?
I thought he had a hammy, but let me go look it up again because I'm only looking at his I was only looking at his status, and it happened like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no, that's important.
Anyways, Mixon's not practicing either.
I expect Mixon not to play possibly because it seems like if he's not practicing now, I don't have too much confidence. Yes, they had the 10 days off, but that injury did look bad. I think Burrow is one of the better tournament stacks on this slate, and you just run it back with Devontae Adams.
Shoulder. It was a shoulder.
Okay. I mean, you can fight through a shoulder, but also you could be out there running routes and not be okay. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I really like my favorite stack right now. And again, it's Wednesday. It could obviously change. I don't know what the ownership's going to be. But I don't think people are going to Burrow. And I'm going to play Burrow, I think, in my main tournament team with Chase, with Boyd, and ran back with Devontae Adams. I mean, it's a 48.5 total that moved up to 50. And yes, the Packers, they're on the road. But I think this Packers team is going to lay it to the Bengals a bit. Everyone talks about this Bengals defense is better. Yeah, but it's Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, he can easily get the job done. And you might hear, oh, Aaron Rodgers has been worse on the road, this and that. Sure, I get it, but I think this Packers team is going to, get out in front early and force this Bengals team to throw. I don't think you're going to see them pounding the rock. And yes, I think the Packers could pound the rock, and you could play Aaron Jones instead of Devontae Adams if you want to, but I prefer going to Devontae Adams. Even when the Packers win games, when they have a leading script, they still go to Devontae Adams, and he can dominate. I really like that stack. In cash games, Devontae Adams, I expect him to be pretty highly owned, just because I think that people will gravitate towards him. With that team total, it's a bit of a dustier slate, right? We don't have Pat Mahomes on the slate, Josh Allen. We just don't have these elite offenses where we're going to have some salary to spend, it seems like. And if we do have salary to spend in cash games, people want to just gravitate towards Devontae Adams, 8 catches for 80 yards, maybe a touchdown. That floor is just so nice that I think you'll see people gravitate towards that. But in tournaments, I absolutely love that stack. And I wonder if people will go to the Rodgers one. Like, I'm curious if JSU, he always gets that Rodgers stack really right. If JSU is on that Rodgers stack, then I'll definitely consider that a little bit more. But right now, I absolutely love the Burrow stack in tournaments.
But you'd only stack them with one player. That would be it.
I'm going to do the full stack. I'm going to go Burrow with Chase, Adams, and Boyd because what?
Chase, Adams, and who?
Chase, Adams, and Boyd.
Boyd. Okay. Yes.
And you can even do it if we don't have Mixon. You can do it with P-Ryan, right? You could take one of Boyd or Chase out and go to P-Ryan. But what the key is, Holden, if P-Ryan, busts in this spot, it could be because of those receivers, right? But the only issue is P-Ryan's price, right? I think it's like 4.2K, where it's really egregious, and it's just such a value where I don't mind going to it because he is the pass catching back.
Don't play P-Ryan. Just don't do it. I've seen.
Holden, we're gonna talk about him in the cash show tomorrow. It's
fine. Talk about fine. You want to play him in cash? Go play him in cash. Do not play him in a tournament. Just don't do it. You'll take his 8 points and you're gonna be pissed off at yourself. That's gonna be the problem with that. And then as far as Boyd goes, I love that call. He's the type of receiver that's given the Packers trouble so far. Yeah, you line him up slot, he can come out. He can do just a lot of damage. So
also Jair got hurt last game, right? So if Jair is not in there, that is going to make that secondary fall apart in my opinion.
Oh, they just signed Rasul Douglas because they're thin at corner. So
I'm hoping people are not on this Bengals stack. We'll see, but it's definitely one in tournaments I want to be all over.
Okay, now let's see where Keg is. Is he back? Yes, he is. Keg, how'd it go? What happened? Was there a fight? Are you okay?
My next door neighbor's not home. Only the Russian guys that are doing construction were there. And I tried to tell them to shut up for 20 minutes, and they laughed in my face. Literally laughed at me.
Don't mess with the Russians.
And then I went back in my house and closed the window. So hopefully
that's all you needed to do?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a group of people I'm not messing with, it's definitely the Russians.
That's kind of where I was when I ran.
Right. So they laughed. If I were you, I'd bring them a cookie or something, just a beer, bring them a beer or something, some vodka, because if they were laughing in your face, they already got you marked, pal.
Yeah. And I'm not the smallest guy. So, I mean,
I know you're not the smallest guy, but they're the Russians.
They were clearly just like, I'll kill this guy.
Exactly.
So I walked away.
I don't want you to die. I like you, Keg. You're my pal. Packers Bengals is the game we were talking about when you were talking to the Russians. So I can't believe that. Maybe people haven't dealt with them, but again, it's a stay away situation for me. Anyways,
yep.
I'll just get back to this. I don't want to upset the Russians either. Packers -3 in Cincinnati. This thing actually got bet down a little bit. I saw 3.5. 49 was where the total was, up to 51.5. And the Bengals on a money line +150. Can you make a case for the Bengals taking an upset here? Or is Rodgers back and this Packers team's just going to go down there and say, all right, boys, nice start to the season. You're getting your ass whooped.
I don't know if the Packers team is totally back. They did what they were supposed to do against a really mediocre team with a horrific offense last week. But, they gave up the early touchdown and then settled down, and the defense played much better after that. But they're still rocking a bottom third defense, Green Bay, right now. And this offense, I still don't think is as good as it's been the last 3 years. Now, it was another game where they only averaged 5 yards per play. They still have a ton of room for improvement moving forward this year. But after saying that, they have exceeded expectations and covered 3 of the first 4 games this year. So, I think they can be playing better, but they're playing well. The Bengals, I think now we're at the point where it's a team that you have to at least start to take seriously. They started slow last week against the Jags, but they rallied the troops, man. They came out like gangbusters in that second half and willed their way to a win. The defense is phenomenal. At least it was in the second half. And right now they're a top 5 defense through 4 weeks. The game is a tough call in terms of a side. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't hear you guys talking, but last I heard, Joe Mixon did not practice and Higgins did, right?
Correct. Higgins with a shoulder, Mixon has a lower body. P. Ryan might be the guy this week, and I think that's a major drop-off.
Yeah, I agree. I would like both. I would like them to have all their weapons, especially if Mixon's not going to play. But it's still, I think it's a tough call in terms of a side. The Bengals have been playing well enough this year where getting a field goal at home against the Packers, you at least have to give some real thought to, but you would still want the team to be fully healthy. That being said, I'll lean towards the Packers here, but I don't feel great about it. And I'm not going to have my money anywhere near a side because I think it really could go either way because the Bengals have been playing well enough to make it a game. The total is interesting. It opened up at 50.5, and I think it's 51 now. The Packers are 2-2 in terms of the over this season, with barely a margin, 0.2 points per game. And the Bengals have gone under in 3 of their first 4 games by a field goal. So the totals have been really close to dead on for these teams through the first month. So I'm going to lean under 51. And I think that if you wait, especially if you get news that some of these Bengals players are going to play, I think that the number is going to continue to climb the closer that you get to Sunday. But I got a slight lean to the under. What do you guys think? You guys lean over or under in this game?
I think Mangone likes this one, don't you, Mangone?
Yeah, I kind of lean over, mainly because I think what's going to happen is I think the Packers get out early. Bengals get forced to throw a ton. And obviously when the game gets a little tighter, right, then Rodgers does his thing and gets that game over. And then you just cash that ticket up to the window. So I think this is going to be a really good game. Everyone just assumes the Bengals are this like stout defense and like just pound the rock now, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Rodgers is going to get the job done and have a pretty efficient game, in my opinion.
Guys, talk to me about I got some betting stats for you. Keg, favorites are 26-38 against the spread. Home teams, 29-35 against the spread. Dogs, 27-37 straight up. Remember they had that big week 1, and then the over-under, the unders have hit to 28-36. Everything's kind of turned around right now. Do any of these numbers matter to you at this point in the season?
I don't think the sample size is really big enough through 4 weeks to get an accurate read on things.
Okay, very good. Like it. Let's go Lions Vikings. And before we do Vikings Lions, not liking Lions, Viking Lions RPS Heater 25% off your first monthly payment. DFS crew rolling again last week. Our cores were on the 2 best games, and a lot of people cashed, and a lot of people had really good weeks too. Like I said, I read it off. We had a guy win over 300K last week, and he wasn't the only winner. I mean, listen, you hit for $1,000. That's a lot of money. I get it. Especially, if you're only playing a couple of $100 a week. So a lot of members winning constantly. Every week. I mean, we talk about this, more members crushing. Members never win is a bunch of bullshit. KMB Squid with a 2,600 hit. We had Dave the Champ, 84K. Just the Joe, 240K. Matt S, 305K. It's just been an absolute tear that we've been on so far. All right, Mangone, Lions Vikings. Let's get into this one. The Vikings have been just so disappointing. At least Dalvin Cook has come out and started producing. I actually like a little bit of this Vikings offense this week. You can laugh at me all you want. Detroit's actually, I believe, had at least 3 sacks in every single one of these games, but I don't care. Justin Jefferson has turned back into the super stud that he is. My question for you will be what to do with Dalvin Cook, if anything. Cousins had thrown, back-to-back 3 touchdown games. You're not getting much out of the rushing department there. I guess the ceiling really isn't there either. So I'm talking myself off of a complete Viking stack. But what do you make of Minnesota? What do you do with Dalvin Cook if he's active? We already talked about CMC. What about Dalvin?
Yeah, so this is definitely a very interesting game. I do think that obviously it's being in a dome. It's something I always have interest in. I'm not as interested in the pass game because I think the Vikings, I think they're going to be leading most of the game, and they're just going to be kind of holding that lead. And man, when Mike Zimmer's up, what does he do? He just pounds the rock, right? I mean, I don't really want to invest in this pass game too much. Could the pass game get there? I mean, obviously, could they put up 28 points and it's more passing touchdowns than rushing? Yes, of course. But I expect this game to be one of those that it's just not on your radar, right? When you're watching NFL Red Zone, the witching hour comes up, you're not going to see this game. It's just going to be a lot of pounding the rock. Now, if that's the case, could it be Dalvin Cook? Could it be Alexander Madison? I don't mind in tournaments taking shots on Dalvin Cook as long as I would say this, I want to make sure I don't hear anything bad about Dalvin Cook. If I hear like he's not getting a lot of the carries, it's going to be ugly, that could be a problem. But in tournaments, we want to be ahead, right? We want to be the first one there. We want to be the first in line. I want to be the first in line to Dalvin Cook having a big game. If Dalvin Cook had no issues all year, he's been healthy, would his price tag be this against the Lions? Would he be someone that we would be talking about and wanting to roster in cash games? Yes, these are all yeses. And in tournaments, you have to be willing to get burned. You have to be willing to take a shot at 5% and be the first guy there. I think I'm willing to be the first guy there on Dalvin Cook. And you know who else I'm willing to run it back with? I'm willing to run it back with TJ Hawkinson, the guy that everyone wanted to roster for the past 2 weeks. Let's roster TJ Hawkinson. He's the best. We got to be playing him. Well, no one's talking about TJ Hawkinson now, and he could have a really big game. And the other reason why I think he could have a really big game is I think you're going to see Jared Goff have to check down a lot because that Vikings defensive line has gotten a lot healthier. They have definitely were problems for Baker Mayfield. They're going to create problems for Jared Goff. I even think that Dalvin Cook with the Vikings defense stack is certainly in play. And you could see that Vikings defense take one to the house. And if that Vikings defense takes one to the house, correlates with the Dalvin Cook, running game, and it hurts that passing game if people are still going to be on that Vikings passing game. I know I'm not. I don't think it's the right way to go this week. And I think this is a decent game for DFS, but it's not one I'm just stacking up everywhere. I'm doing more skinny stacks.
Okay, very good. Lions, Vikings, do you even want to bother with this game, Keg? The Vikings, to me, they had a must-win last week. Didn't work out for them. Probably a must-win this week, too, at this point, for a team that thinks that they're contenders. They are 8.5-point favorites at home, 49.5 total. I mean, the Lions aren't winning this thing, but how much are the Vikings winning it by?
I think that the line movement in this game over the last 24 hours has been insanity. When I talked to you yesterday about the games that we were going to cover, the line was 7. When I woke up today, the line was 9. And now it's down to 8 at DraftKings. So I this line is all over the place. I was going to, when I saw the line at 9, I was going to ask you guys who's out. Why was there a 2-point line move in a day? But now it's back down to 8. I'll tell you what, man, I'm not running to cover the 8. The Lions are abysmal, bro. They're like the amount of things, regardless what had to happen for them to not cover that game last week, they still have the second worst defense right now in football. Obviously the Chiefs have the worst defense right now. And they're just not a good football team. You don't know whether the Lions are going to score 7 points in a game or whether they could score 35 in a game, like in week 1. They're way too inconsistent to count on. Like last week was my final straw. I thought they were in a great spot last week. They couldn't get it done. They're definitely capable of losing this game by more than 8 points. Now, am I running to bet a 1-3 Minnesota team that should probably be 3-1, or they should definitely be 2-2, could be 3-1? No, I'm not running to bet them either. Well, let me not say that. I'm not running to lay 8.5 with them, but I do think that they're going to win the game. So I think that they're a teasable side. I like them from 8 down to 2. As far as the total, I think exactly what I just said still stands. Because both these teams are kind of inconsistent, the Lions more so, the final score of this game could be 17-10 or 41-38. Who knows? I mean, you just don't know. They're way too inconsistent. So I'm going to say forget the laying the points and forget the total. But I do think that the Vikings are a teasable side, and I'll probably have them at -2 in a couple of teasers this week.
All right, Kegger, once again, I need you to plug the bet side on a tear. More people need to be there. If you're already a subscriber, Get Bets is the way to go with that. But give us a plug, man. I love this side.
Yeah, I know the sexy thing is screenshots for the DFS side, but like equally impressive is what the bets team is doing on the other side. We started our second year on August 1st, and through the first 68 days of the new year, the team's up 41 units. That is absolutely bananas absurd. So the boys are rolling. Every sport's covered, 35 hours of content, and use promo code BETS25 off. Get 25% off the first week or month. And that's it.
Okay. Here we go, guys. Last game to get to. Thursday Night Football. Big game coming up. Division rivals. It's the Rams and the Seahawks. I even have a best bet from this one, boys. Oh, yes. I do have a best bet from this one that I feel good about. Rams -2.5 on the road. 54.5 is the total. That's interesting. Rams -133 at Fox Bet. You can also get the Seahawks +120 on the money line. So The Seattle Seahawks have the worst rushing defense out there. They have given up 152 yards per game. They're right there. They're ahead of the Eagles and just ahead of the Eagles, just ahead of the Chiefs. These guys have been horrific against the run. Daryl Henderson looked to be healthy last week. I saw where his rushing prop was at 57.5. I just hit it. See, here's funny. I went over to DK this morning to get on a Henderson prop. It was at 59.5. They said, sorry, it changed on you. So I hit it at 60.5. He's going over this number, guys. He's gone over the number in 2 or 3. He did it again last week. The Seahawks cannot stop the run. This is going to be my best bet for this game. And I don't give out many bets on here. I mean, we got Keg for this, but I'm telling you right now, Kegger, this is my thing. Daryl Henderson, over 60.5 rush yards. I think this thing is probably a minimum 7-8 yards off.
I like it. I think it's a great look. Actually, where did you get that number? Right now, it's already up to 62.5 at DK.
60.5 at DK. That's what I told you. It was a 59.5. And then when I hit it, it was 60.5. And I think it's like 67 at FanDuel. Like, I think at 67, I wouldn't bet it, but I don't know if it's a bad bet at 62.5 either. I think he gets there, but I just think he has a monster week this week. Kegger, you want to go into this one from the bet side tonight? I know you'll have a best bet. My best bet is going to be 60.5, and then we'll get Mango's thoughts on a showdown and maybe a bet from him too.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams are the only team in football where all 4 games they've played have gone up and over the total. Now, it's worth mentioning that 3 of those 4 games that the Rams played were at home. But still, it's hard to go against that, even though they're playing in a tough environment this week. But, we're talking about 2 of the better offenses in football. And I'm surprised that Seattle, analytically, their offense is ranked as high as it is. But still, after 4 weeks, the numbers say that they are a good offense right now. And it's 2 defenses that have been subpar this year and are outside the top 20 right now. Now, I'm going to lean over 54 in this game. But I don't like to bet totals that high in Seattle. But I'll lean over 54. I also think that the Rams probably get back on track here and win this game after getting just crushed last week. So I don't know. There's nothing really that I want to
don't give a bet.
Yeah, I'll ride. I'll bet your play, and I'll ride the Henderson.
Right. That's our play. We're in trouble if I'm the one coming up with the play. Hey, Mangone, talk to me here. Daryl Henderson, 60.5 yards. Tell me if you're uncomfortable with that.
My only reason to be uncomfortable with it is Thursday night football game, banged up running back going into Thursday. I don't know. Maybe because the Seattle is so bad against the run, maybe you actually do see Sonny Michel finally unleashed. I don't know. Hey, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it was to happen, it'd probably be here, right? If, I worry about banged up running backs or banged up players from the Sunday going to the Thursday game and betting their overs. That's the only concern I would have. But it could easily get there. And I also didn't really play Daryl Henderson or look at him much this weekend. So maybe there's some bias there that's leaking in where I'm like, I passed on him there. I'm going to pass on him here now. If you did go over to the bet side and you were signed up, Holden, you already got the Rams -1 when I posted that one up there if you wanted to follow me. So I got Rams -1.
Go ahead.
At closing line value, we got all that good stuff. So again, Keg, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, go ahead on that closing line value. I had a question, though. I think Cooper Kupp has a day. 85.5 seems a little high, though, no?
I mean, 8.5 is a high line for any prop. I do think he can have a good day. The problem is if you think they just get up and they're leading, right? If they are leading, you're not going to get as much volume for him.
No, 80. I meant yards, 85.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just that line is just so high, man. It's so tough to stomach.
And plus, they want to get Robert Woods in there. Listen, Cup eats the Seahawks alive. I think he might even be from there, but that's a high line. I want to go back to something Mangone said about the ribs. Here was Daryl Henderson in week 4. 90% snaps, 2/3 of the attempts. 13%. Well, the targets we don't care about. Short down distance, 89%. Long down distance, 92%. I mean, this guy was in there a ton. I'm not worried about the volume. I think he came out of it fine. So I get your concern there. That's why we talked this out, and I love it, but I still feel good about Henderson.
No, that's fine, Holden. And I'm also like kind of saying like I might be biased and I might just like want to stay away just to stay away. And it's like, that's fine.
Because I came up with it. I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I disagree with you for what it's worth. I'm not saying that at all. I just don't think I'll rush to bet it, but I do want to say, Holden, because we haven't said it much, like a subscribe, hit the like, the 2 thumbs up, as JJ says.
That's why they're hiring a new host. We're looking for a female host. We're trying to be more inclusive, and I keep forgetting to say like and subscribe. So, that's what's happening. My time's done here, Keg. I'm walking a very thin leash, pal. This could be the last.
Are you getting the pink slip, bro?
I think I got fired earlier today, to be honest.
I'll go on strike. I will go on strike.
I'll get the rest of the team to go on strike. That really didn't happen, but we are looking for a new host. We are looking for somebody.
Maybe that's what our lunch is about tomorrow, Holden. Maybe you're actually being handed a pink slip tomorrow.
You're free. We're not going out to lunch, Mangone. Lunch is canceled, and that's it. You can go out with DC. No. In all seriousness, though, we are looking for a part-time host, somebody to help out a little bit during the NBA season. So if you know anybody, info@runpuresports.com. Maybe we can get that going. Any final thoughts on this Rams Seahawks game, or we get the fuck it?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, only final thoughts I have here. We've had a negative chatter in the chat. Mr. Joey Work has been a little negative. He says he's here just for the guy in the red hat who's super sharp. But Joey Work, no need for the negativity after your Yankees lost and they're out of the playoffs. Get out of here, Joey Work. Your Yankees suck.
Let the record show the only thing that mattered last night was Joey got us home on the 5 under 4.5. Thank you very much, Joe.
All right.
Yep. Appreciate it, Joe. But I'm with you, Mango, and I'm sick of this shtick too. So I'll just tail him from now on, but we're done.
Yeah, tail him and needle him about his shitty Yankees losing because they're terrible.
It's pretty bad. It was a horrible single game parlay, Joey Work. Horrible. I'm glad the Yankees are out because now I don't have to worry about him betting biased. But boy, was he good again. It's just, I tell you, guy, I can't say it enough. The bet side is so damn good. I mean, if you could put up with Joey's annoyingness, all you got to, you know what? Don't even listen to him. Just go to the sheet, tail it, and then you're done. Okay.
And I'm looking at the sheet right now. I have it in front of me. Joey has, let's see what he has up. I'm not going to give away the bet. I do like the one he has up for tomorrow's game a lot.
We hit that
and then he's
earlier.
got four future bets for the for baseball that have not one of them actually has gone through. Oh, I guess I thought they were playoff ones, but he'll be giving you playoff ones just to talk about Joey Work and tout him up a little bit. I think in the playoffs last year in the World Series, he gave you 6 of 7. He got them all right whenever he picked them. He didn't give officials, I think, on every single one, but whenever people asked for leans, he gave them out and he went 6 of 7. So Joey Work and playoff baseball, it goes hand in hand.
And then I got a couple of bets from you that are sitting here too this week. So that's kind of interesting as well. I like those. You're back on the rushing train, huh? With a wide receiver. You're back on the rushing train. I love it.
I bet that one last week. So when the inactives came out, right?
Yeah.
I maybe people can guess what it is. I jumped on it, so I couldn't put it on the sheet. It's really hard to get the inactive ones out because those just move instantly. You just can't. It's like impossible. That's why I tell people, I might not be able to give you those out. This is why we have the Discord. And this is why we talk to people and say, hey, this is what you need to do, especially with NBA. When they have the injury report come out, be ready to hammer those props and get them home. It's just free money. So be sure to do that. And that's why we have that Discord, right, Kevin?
Hey, for the wide receiver in the Jacksonville game, would you take an extra yard over what you posted?
Yeah, extra yard's fine there.
That's nothing.
You're basically betting on one attempt.
Okay. I was just going to say, I'm not going to say the play that Tyler has on the sheet I just saw for tomorrow night, but I feel better about thinking about that in my brain.
Because he's on it?
Yeah. I mean, he's a machine. He is an NFL player prop machine. So I'm betting that just because he's on.
We should get him on here to go through his process. like the
I'm
player
telling
prop
you, Holden,
process.
he is a machine, bro.
I know. I was on with him and Spread yesterday. We did the NFL show. It was a lot of fun.
What I will say is, Mangone, you went deep last week.
Deep.
There had to be 15 NFL player props.
Couldn't cover them all.
Couldn't
Couldn't even find them all.
Yeah, there are a bunch. We'll keep going through them. Don't worry. I mean, if the line doesn't move, I can get them to you. The problem is they always move. It's very tough to stay on them. But yeah, we're gonna keep going deep with them. And I even put the Colts money line on there, and I even put Mr. Jonathan Taylor to score a touchdown. It was a good little week. Some of them didn't get home because of some injuries. Like Tim Patrick was annoying because you lose Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, what's Drew Lock going to do for you? But hey, we'll grind him out throughout the season, Keg, and hopefully by the end of the season we can look at the units and be like, hey, we're up and it's a good season, and we help some people get smarter as well.
Like you literally had 15 bets down, at least. You just went bananas. I couldn't even bet them all. It was like there's so many of them that, but it was successful. So that's all that matters.
I'll be the first to say that the crew picked me up on Sunday, which I appreciate. Yeah, they all crushed. Everybody crushed.
Yeah,
they all had my back. All right,
I just tailed Mangone's 2 picks. Already got the 2 picks from Joey Work, waiting for the Kegster to put something up there. That'll be up there as the week goes on. The bet side, the DFS side, everything's working well. Simon, thank you so much for making this show work behind the scenes. Appreciate it. And I am going to do one thing. The Wishbone Pod is out, and you're going to want to listen to that. The Wishbone Pod, Uncle T, JT Hayes, G Risen, and me. Last night, a lot of conflict going on. Needed to settle down a little bit, but lots of conflict. And then I'm about to tape the pod with Titletown, Rubio Dimes, the Young Guys Pod. That will be out tomorrow morning. Look for it, the NFL Spread. So our podcasts are also on YouTube. Very easy to get there. And that's all we got. For Mangone and Kegger and Simon behind the scenes, thanks so much for watching us. Like button, subscribe button. I'm Holden. Simon, get us out of here.